got my tea. So, hello! Oh look, it's the least frequent booktuber ever. So yeah, collector wrap up, 5 books. Let's go through them all, from my most favourite to my least favourite, like I used to do, because I think people like that. Maybe? I don't know. I don't know what you like. I don't know what you want. So my favourite book of this whole lot is one that I randomly picked up from work. It's got pretty mixed reviews around the board on BookTube and everywhere. And from the synopsis and what people were saying, I was like, I have a feeling that I'm really gonna love it. And I was right. And it's You by Kepnes. This is basically like a dark, obsessive love story. And it's so addictive. It's basically about a guy called Joe who becomes very infatuated by a girl called Beck, and he basically starts stalking her. He's like following her everywhere, gets completely obsessed. This is like the deepest, darkest route into an obsessive guy's mind. I loved the main character. Obviously you're not really supposed to, but at the same time you do kind of start to, you don't sympathise with him obviously because he's insane, but there is something about him that you start to kind of understand a bit more, and he is so funny. He's freaking hilarious. You don't really love any of the characters. They're almost like all kind of put into different boxes of the different kinds of people that you hate. It's so interesting seeing them from the point of view of someone so mental, and it's just like, I don't know. I didn't think I would say this about like someone who's just a mental stalker, but it's so much fun. It was pretty much exactly what I wanted from this. So for that, I think I gave it 4.5 out of 5. So I don't know if you'd call it like a erotic thriller or something, but like do be aware of that if you don't like that. So the next book is so different. It is Sofia Is Not Obliged by Ayesha Malik. I loved this. This was so great! So this is about a woman called Sofia. She is a Muslim woman living in London, and she has just broken up with someone, so she starts dating and has to document all of her experiences for a book, and it's hilarious. Oh my god, I adore Sofia. I want her to be my best friend. I just love her. It's very Bridget Jones-esque, if that is your kind of thing. Their senses of humour were so brilliant. They're so like quick and witty, and the dialogue was great. And they felt like people that you just know, which I really like. I did think it dragged a little bit towards the end. It was kind of like, it was semi-predictable and it was a little bit draggy. I gave it 4 out of 5. I loved it. So the next book is one that everyone knows and has probably read, and it's The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This is obviously the first book in the Raven cycle. Everyone has been losing their shit lately because the last book in the series has come out, and I got envious and I wanted to join in. You know, FOMO is a thing. And I liked it. I didn't love it. If you listen really closely, you can hear people clicking the unsubscribe button. I did enjoy it. I liked it. Okay, don't hate me. The thing is this. I really liked the characters. Actually, I loved the characters. The characters were engaging, they were interesting, they were different from anything I've ever read in YA. They were very complex. The writing was stunning. It was amazing. Beautiful. Seriously, some of the best writing I've read in YA. So props to Maggie. This kind of fantasy world that she built, which was very well built, don't get me wrong, but there was obviously this kind of mystery surrounding it, and I just didn't care, and I don't think I really got it. It just wasn't, it's not the kind of thing that is for me. I'm sorry, I don't know why, I don't know. I really wanted to, I so wanted to care, but I just didn't. I'm not saying the book is bad, obviously, and I can completely understand why people love it. It was just not something that I can become obsessed with, that kind of plot. I don't know what it is. There's something about supernatural worlds and things that now my mind just kind of switches off. Maybe I should read the second one. I don't know. Can you tell me if I should? Would you say that I should? I gave it 4 out of 5. I really liked it, but just wasn't as obsessed as everyone else seems to be. But ace, characters, writing, yeah, good. So the next book that I read is Only Ever Yours by Louise. This is a very kind of dark dystopian where females aren't created anymore. They're designed and trained purely to please men. That's the only reason that they exist, and it's really terrifying. I was actually really kind of obsessed with this while I was reading it. The enjoyability factor of this book is not high. It's not really something that you feel good reading. It's not enjoyable, but that doesn't mean it's not good. It is really clever because there are so many parallels in this book that seem so, kind of unreal and, you know, things that you would never imagine happening, but they almost are happening now. And it's so awful. I think what I found the most awful about this was almost how, obviously, the way women are treated is horrendous by men, but it's almost how the women treated the other women was so awful and, like, painful to read about. It just shows you how important the empowerment of women and girls empowering girls is so important. The characters were super frustrating, I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, in that situation, I'm sure we would probably all act the same, so it's just like... Also, massive trigger warning for eating disorders. Don't read this if you're triggered by that. Don't read it. Don't. It is a pretty heavy read, and it's definitely not fun, and it is very frustrating, but I do feel like it's worth reading if you are in the right mood for it. Pretty sure I gave this 3 or 3.5 out of 5. I think on reflection I would give it 3.5 out of 5. So the next book I read, I liked but I didn't love, and it's The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. So it's about a woman who takes the same train every day and sees this family on her commute and becomes like semi kind of attached to them and obsessed with them, and notice that things start to kind of change and she gets involved. Essentially. I do have to give this massive credit because it was the book I've read the fastest in such a long time. I read this in like 3 days, which I do not do ever. I don't want to give anything away obviously, but I was slightly disappointed by the ending. It was just kind of like fine. It was like the typical thriller ending. It was like good, but didn't blow my socks off or anything. So I thought it was pretty good. Not my favourite thriller, but definitely a decent one. I think if you're still getting into thrillers, maybe this would be a good one to go to, because it is super fast paced. So I gave it 3 out of 5, and that's it. I'm currently reading Rebel of the Sands by Alwyn Hamilton, and I was enjoying it at first, but now it's kind of, I feel like it's lost its way a little bit. I don't know. I obviously need to wait till the end, but we'll see in the next wrap up. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Mwah.